He used to be her protector, the man who would do anything for the woman he loved, but now he's become her biggest fear. This is 1 Minute. Hi, I'm here, and today I've got a whisper in the dark for you. This story comes from M. Night Shyamalan's original movie, The Village. In case you weren't around when it was released, this film was a box office success. It grossed over $250 million worldwide against a budget of $70 million. The movie starred Joaquin Phoenix as a young villager named Lucius Hunt. He goes into the woods to gather supplies when he comes across a stranger played by Adrian Brody. They fight, but then Lucius is forced to drag the injured stranger back to his village, where he is cared for by Ivy Walker, played by Bryce Dallas Howard. As Lucius grows closer to her, he discovers that she is in love with another man, but he can't stop thinking about her. Then the unthinkable happens. One day they hear screams in the forest and later discover that Ivy's fiancé has been murdered. Soon after, Ivy and Lucius are attacked, but he manages to save her life. When he returns to the village, he finds that it has been completely abandoned, and just outside the town, he sees a car. Realizing that the villagers had been living in fear of something called the creatures that lived in the woods, he drives to a nearby town, only to find out that there are no such creatures. They'd made it all up to keep people from leaving their village. Now, that's just a summary. There's a lot more to it. But what if we took the idea of the creature in the woods and applied it to our own lives? What if the monster that haunted the characters in the movie was actually a metaphor for the monsters inside of us? That's the approach director M. Night Shyamalan took, saying, "The point of the story is to say we create our worst enemies because we cannot look inside ourselves." Some time ago, a girl was driving home after spending the night with friends. Suddenly, her car broke down in the middle of nowhere. She was terrified. The sky was full of stars and the trees surrounding her were like gnarled fingers reaching out to grab her. So she did the only thing she could think of. She got out of the car and started running through the dark towards the nearest house. As she ran, she could hear footsteps behind her, getting closer and closer. She could feel their hot breath on her neck, and the hairs on the back of her arms stood up. Finally, she reached the house and burst through the door. She was safe. But that moment was shattered when she saw the face of the man standing before her. It was the same face that had been following her through the trees. He had been the one chasing her. She screamed and tried to run, but it was too late. He was upon her in an instant, and she never saw the light of day again. One evening, a group of teenagers decided to spend the night alone in an old abandoned house. They wanted to see if they could stay there without being scared. As darkness fell, they heard chains dragging metal moans. Then they began to feel cold spots, icy fingers brushing against their skin and disembodied whispers in their ears. At first, they laughed it off, but then things started to get real scary. They watched in horror as one of their friends was pulled away into the shadows, screaming at the top of his lungs. The others tried to hold on to him, but it was no use. He was gone. The next morning, the police found only one set of footprints leading away from the house. To this day, nobody knows what happened to those teens, but some believe they discovered that old abandoned houses are best left alone. A boy was playing in the woods near his home when he stumbled upon a clearing. In the center of the clearing was a tall, thin tree with a low-hanging branch that looked like a ladder. The boy climbed onto the tree and sat on the branch. Suddenly, he felt the ground beneath him shake. He looked down and saw a pair of glowing red eyes staring up at him. Before he could move, a giant hand shot out and grabbed him. He screamed as he was pulled into the darkness. The boy never made it home that night. His body was found the next morning, and the only clue as to what had happened was a single red feather that had been clutched in his hand. These stories may seem scary, and maybe they are, but they also remind us of something important. The world is full of dangers, both real and imagined. Sometimes the monsters we fear the most are the ones we create in our own minds. So next time you're out in the dark, remember to stay aware of your surroundings. You never know what might be lurking in the shadows. In the story of The Village, Lucius eventually finds out that the creature in the woods wasn't real. It was just a figment of the villagers' imaginations. They had created the monster in their own minds and kept each other trapped in the village out of fear. If you've ever watched any of these videos before, you'll know that I talk about similar things often. For me, the scariest monsters aren't the ones that go bump in the night. They're the ones that live in our minds. Fear, anger, jealousy, these are the monsters that can truly hurt us. I believe that facing our fears head-on is the best way to overcome them. When we allow our fears to control us, we become prisoners of our own minds. But when we choose to face them, we can break free and live a life that we're truly proud of. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. I think that's why I love watching these videos. They remind us that no matter how dark things may seem, we can always find the light if we're willing to look for it. So let's take a moment to appreciate the darkness in our lives. Let's take a moment to appreciate the darkness in our lives. It's in the darkness that we learn to appreciate the light even more. It's in the darkness that we discover our inner strength. It's in the darkness that we find our true selves. So thank you for watching these videos. Thank you for letting me share my thoughts with you. And thank you for reminding me that no matter how dark things may seem, there's always hope for a brighter tomorrow. What did you think of today's story? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like this video, be sure to check out some of the others. We have so many great stories to choose from. I know you'll find something that you enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe. We release new videos every day, and you won't want to miss out. Thanks for watching, and happy haunting. Oh, and by the way, if you're still reading this, I have a favor to ask. Would you please write a comment below telling me which character you related to the most? Just write their name, and I'll try to respond to as many comments as possible. It's a small request, but it really helps me out. Thanks for listening, and have a great day. Sitting around in the dark, eating popcorn and watching movies is one of my favorite things to do. Now that Halloween is over, I'm looking forward to curling up on the couch with a good thriller. Do you have any recommendations? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're down there, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really helps us out. I also encourage you to follow us on social media to get all the latest updates. I'm not very good at posting on social media, but I promise you'll get some cool stuff out of it. Thanks for listening, and have a great day. Hey, real quick, I wanted to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please take 2 seconds to hit that like button. It really helps us out. Also, make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this one. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.